Welcome everybody to another episode of 555 Barbershop. I'm here with one of my good friends. He needed a haircut. It's been a long time. He let his hair grow out finally, and I was very excited to give him what I thought was going to be something epic, but he wound up changing his mind. But I'm going to let this whole thing play out. So originally, what you see me here doing is cutting the hair down to a desired length, because in my mind I wanted to give him a skin tight drop fade. The guy has excellent hair. But watch how this whole thing plays out later on. Here you can see me working my way down from the higher guards to the lower guards. I really wasn't 100% sure what his scalp was going to look like when I removed all of that hair. So I was just removing it slowly but surely. I wanted to see where the fade was going to land. And that's one of the reasons why I like working or blending in reverse, just like you see me doing here. The process of reverse blending is very simple. It's where you start with the higher guards. You don't put in a guideline. You start with the higher guards and you work your way down to the lower guards until you get to the bare skin. I do all of this without putting in a guideline. Now, I have many techniques and many approaches to haircuts, and this here is just one of them. For me, this technique takes a lot longer, but the result is much nicer with a much smoother transition. Again, I call this a reverse blend. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but to me, a reverse blend is the difference between a suit from H&M and a tailor-made suit from a tailor. It just fits the head better. It wraps around the bones of the head better. It covers all the little spots that are so hard to cover with a traditional blend. As you can see in this video, I'm working my way down further and further. And now I'm at the section where I'm just removing the bulk hair at the bottom, at the very bottom, with the trimmer. I also want to add that every time I perform one of these blends, I don't always get it the first time. I almost always have to go back and detail it or do something to it and spend a lot of time with it. You can see right away that there's a nice dark line going around the ear, around the back of the head. I got to get rid of that. So in the detail phase, I'm going to go back and I'm going to cover those areas. At this particular point, all I could think about is how nice the haircut's going to look after I finish detailing the top, the bottom, the blend, the beard, everything. But then this happened.
Right here.
Tell him.
And you were stuck in your own idea of what I should look like and totally disregarded how I felt about what I wanted to look like. But I love you, man. This is bro, this is amazing. It does. If I was named Brian and I wore glasses or something like that, like, yes.
Yep. Right before I was getting ready to detail this fade, he made me shave it all off. I was disappointed, but at the end of the day, I work for the customer, and this drop fade is not really what the customer wanted. What he wanted was something very low and very basic, and it is what it is. I had to do it. I had to give him what he wanted, because regardless of how much I would have loved to see my boy with a drop fade, seeing him happy is what matters to me the most. The silver lining in all of this is that I actually had plans on making the blend smooth, but now that he cut the hair all the way down to as short as what you see here, it gave me the opportunity to blend it even smoother than I had originally planned. So basically, I'm just starting over from scratch again, really. I mean, I didn't care. There weren't any customers waiting for me. There was nothing really going on. I think it was like a Tuesday or something like that. So I really wasn't in a rush. In regards to this video, I sat on it for a while, a good while, because even though I felt like I had some good material, I just didn't know how I was going to voice this over. This video was supposed to be like all my other videos, just a regular tutorial. I was going to pretty much show you the guards that I was using and everything, but then that hiccup happened, and I decided to turn this video into a lesson for barbers that sometimes as barbers we have a vision in our head of what we want the customer to look like, but that vision sometimes doesn't agree with what the customer desires. And at the end of the day, it's important for us as barbers to remember that we work for the customer.
Much better.
And my customer is now a happy guy. He's got a receding hairline, and I'm not going to try to push it back any further. My boy doesn't want anything fancy. All he wants is just the basics. And along with his haircut came a beard trim. In this clip, you can see me bringing down the length of his beard to the length that he wants. He wanted his beard to still be kind of long, so I attached the number 2 guard and proceeded. Whenever I'm working on a mustache, I almost always extend the blade on my clipper fully and go with the grain of the mustache. This method allows me to cut away all the flyaway hairs, all the stray hairs that could potentially ruin the mustache. And I want to do that without making the mustache any lighter. It's also important to make sure that I blend in the beard with the haircut. Now before I use the straight razor, I set my lines first with a trimmer. And in the process of doing this, I make sure I get rid of any unwanted hair. Setting the bottom part of the beard is most important to me. I feel like it sets the tone for the entire beard. Depending on whether you do it right or wrong, it could make or break a beard. So the only way for me to get it right is to stand directly in front of the customer and make sure that both sides underneath the jawline are symmetrical. For me, at the back of the jawline, the beard must finish at a right angle, 90 degrees. It's like I kind of want to be able to fit an imaginary rectangle on the side of the guy's face. If I can do that, I know I've got a symmetrical beard. Also, whenever I see an indentation above the upper lip, I try my best not to cut underneath the nose. If I try to cut underneath the nose, that small indentation will throw off the shape of the mustache, and I'll be there for a minute trying to fix it. So whenever I see that indentation, I connect the mustache straight to the nose. With the electric shaver, I remove all of the stubble from the face. Now, with no stubble holding back my razor, I can simply just carve in the lines. Because I took the time to prep the beard the way that I did, the shaving part is relatively easy. Next, I fully close the blade on my clipper and begin smoothing out the surface of the beard. And finally, passing the guard over the top of the haircut just to make sure that I got everything won't hurt a soul. And that's it. My boy's happy, so I'm happy. Because at the end of the day, customer satisfaction is what it's all about.
This is a haircut. This is a cut. This is what I needed. This won't have me feeling myself talking crazy again. That's all I needed.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Click the link in the description of this video to find out about all the tools I used in this video. You'll also find the link there to purchase any tools from Caliber. And don't forget, guys, use my discount code 555.